Happy holidays to all of my horror lovers out there, especially my spooky gang. 2024 has brought us numerous amazing horror movies, which honestly makes it one of the best years for horror in quite a while. And now that the year is over, it's time to discuss what are the top 5 best horror movies that have come out this year. Like I said, this year has been nothing but bangers, so it's definitely going to be something to look forward to. So let's dive in and find out. What's going on, Spooky Gang? It is your boy Tech. Welcome back to Terror of Tech. I hope everybody had a blessed Christmas and, just blessed holidays so far. And I know some of you all are still celebrating, whether it be Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, the whole nine, whatever you celebrate. But I just hope that everybody has had a very nice and happy holidays. It's a perfect time to be spending time with friends and family. And ain't nothing wrong with receiving a little bit of them gifts too. But speaking of which, I got the best gift of all, because I got my 1K subs. I got my 1K subs. Hey, y'all, I appreciate you guys so much. Like I said, it's been a long time running. We've been looking forward to this for the longest. Now, shout out to you guys. You guys are the ones that really make this channel be what it is. All I do is just bring the content that we all love to watch, and then we just discuss it together. So just know that I definitely appreciate y'all. And then for anybody that is new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe. As my spooky gang will probably tell you, I bet your favorite YouTuber don't reply to comments like I do. So just saying, I reply to every single comment just because I just love the whole community, and I just love the discussion and everything. So yeah, for anybody that loves horror and you really rocking with your boy, go ahead and subscribe. And without further ado, because I know I'm talking y'all head off out of appreciation, we're gonna go ahead and jump into the top 5 horror movies from this year, starting now. Coming in at the number 5 spot, I'm not even gonna lie to y'all, it kind of was a little debate with a lot of these movies because there were just so many good movies that came out this year, and even some of the movies that are within the top 5, ranking them accordingly, because some have elements that are better than others and so on and so forth. So hey, like I said, it's gonna be really interesting to see, and I want y'all to drop down below what are your favorite horror movies from this year. But at this number 5 spot, we have the movie Oddity. Oddity is a movie about a psychic medium who attempts to uncover the truth behind her sister's murder at the scene of the crime. This movie was actually a movie review that I just did in my last video, so y'all go check that out if you haven't seen it already. But Oddity, I felt like was a very solid movie overall. It's one of those movies that are more along the lines of a whodunit. So we're trying to figure out who actually murdered this psychic medium, Darcy. We're trying to figure out who murdered her sister. And so we pretty much spend the entire movie going through that whole shebang, and we have some pretty solid performances overall. We have some nice practical effects. As I spoke about in my movie review, the Wooden Man is the star of the show. That's pretty much about the only way I can put it, because he's the real thing that even makes the movie creepy. And when there's going to be moments of levity or just comedic relief or anything regarding that, then the Wooden Man provides all of that for the movie. So yeah, really solid movie, and I know for a lot of people this is one of the better horror movies for this year, so there was no way that a movie like this wasn't going to be able to make the top 5. So I think it's pretty solid, and that's why it is coming at our number 5 spot. And coming in at our number 4 spot for some of the best horror movies this year, this one was actually pretty tough between this one and the movie that I have ranked at the 3rd spot. The biggest difference between the two was pretty much the same level. It was like really steady, just like very solid, very good all the way through, like no problems. But where number 3, although it has maybe a couple valleys, but the peaks are higher than this movie, and that's really where the difference comes in. So that means the movie that is coming in at number 4 for me is The First Omen. The First Omen was one of the first horror movies that I saw this year outside of shit pile called Night Swim. The First Omen was really solid from front to back. Nell Tiger-Free had one of the strongest performances out of really any actor or actress this year. And to give a synopsis of this movie, a young American woman is sent to Rome to begin a life of service to the church, but encounters a darkness that causes her to question her faith and uncovers a terrifying conspiracy that hopes to bring out about the birth of evil incarnate. So everybody for the most part is familiar with the story of the Omen and Damien, and this movie is a prequel to the original Omen movie. And I like the whole plot of this movie too. I like the, whole concept of all of these nuns, and they're pretty much in like this little cult of their own, and they've been spending many years trying to birth the Antichrist just to bring fear back into the world, to help bring people closer back to God. That's a wild thing to do in general, to bring evil into the world to bring people closer to God. But either way, that's pretty much what they're doing in this movie, and it's up to Neil Tiger Free's character to figure out, what's going on and who are the subjects that they're using. And then she ends up finding out that she's one of the subjects, and just all of that. Like, it's just so much to it. And the ending was fantastic. The movie just has a lot going for it. It has a lot of dark moments. It's pretty scary, and I would probably say top 2 or top 3 scary, really, about out of all the horror movies for this year. So very solid in that aspect. So really just all around was a very solid performance, from direction to cinematography to writing to acting, the whole nine. Just all of it is like a nice 7 out of 10 all the way across the board. And I know a lot of you are probably going to look at this and say 7 out of 10, like, what is he talking about? I'm like, no, 7 out of 10 legit is a good rating. People have to stop giving everything 8s, 9s, and 10s. Like, everything is not an 8, 9, and 10. Now, of course, typically in my rating, from a technical aspect, and then how much I love it or like it, is what may give a movie an extra point or 2 or something like that in that direction. So, like, for me, rewatch wise, although I would recommend this movie to people, I think it is a very solid horror movie for this year. But am I just going to be out here rewatching this movie? No. So maybe it probably only got like a 1.5 or something like that from me liking it. But just overall, it is a very solid movie, and it deserves a 7. A 7 is a high score. You go look at IMDb and look at all of your favorite movies. Some of these top movies have like 7.7 ratings, and that's some of the best movies like ever. So you see what I'm saying? So I just want y'all to make sure y'all understand that. But yeah, so that is our number 4 spot. And for sure, anybody who has not seen it this year, it is a movie that I would recommend for you. Coming in at the number 3 spot was one of the most creative movies, and was an amazing body horror movie for really any time period. And that would be The Substance. The Substance, The Substance is The Substance. That is the best way I can put it. The Substance really feels like a breath of fresh air for the horror genre. There's so many creative things and so many different aspects that I really liked about this movie, along with the practical effects, which I for sure want to dig into a little bit more. But just to give a quick synopsis of the movie, a fading celebrity takes a black market drug, a cell-replicating substance that temporarily creates a younger, better version of herself. Very strong performances from Demi Moore and Margaret Qualley. They really just cut up in this role, and what makes it even better is, with them being the leads, there really wasn't a lot of dialogue in this movie, especially from them. So a lot of their performance has to do with, mannerisms and facial expressions, and just really being able to truly express, either genuine happiness or a little cockiness and bravado, and I'm that girl or I'm that guy, whoever it is. And then there's like an element of strain and depression and all that good stuff. Like, you really get to see that, and they wear it well on their face, and so it just makes for a very solid movie overall. Love the cinematography aspect. I love like the color palette, how a lot of times you'll see Demi Moore wearing that damn yellow jacket all over the damn movie, and she's in different settings where there might just be all pure like white walls around here, so her yellow pops so hard. Or when Margaret Qualley was walking down what looks like Hollywood or something like that, just see the shots and how the sun beams off of her and all that good stuff. Like, there's some really beautiful shots. So cinematography wise was amazing. I said from the practical effects standpoint, seeing Margaret Qualley crawl out of Demi Moore's body in the beginning, amazing. Now, where I was talking about peaks and valleys, peaks wise, like pretty much from the very beginning of the movie to maybe the last 30 minutes of the movie was like top tier horror. This is like dang near the best horror movie of this year. And the last 30 minutes is, oh shit, we don't know how to end this movie. What are we gonna do? And even that monstrosity, a lot of body horror movies and then just monster movies in general are always gonna have like a final version of whatever the monster is, and it's like the monster at its most deformed and all that good stuff together. And all of that just fell flat to me. It just seemed like they didn't know how to end the movie, and that's where you know, it stopped it from being like the best horror movie for this year. All of that stuff leading up to it still holds on to it strong, and that's why I made this top 5 list, because I don't really see how anybody could have a top 5 list of horror movies without the substance being somewhere in it. It's just that ending is what stops it from being the top 2, and the top 2 don't have those flaws really at all. Yeah, that's just really what it comes down to at the end of the day. But the substance, for sure, for anybody that loves horror, this is a movie that's like right down your alley. And for our number 2 spot, the number 2 spot and the number 1 spot were extremely hard for me because I love both movies. I can't lie to you, I love both movies. I think both have a ton of rewatch value. They're good from beginning to end. Really, you really can't go wrong with either one. I feel like if you put either one of these two at your number 1, like I said, there's nothing to complain about. They're all great movies. But I think the difference is one of these movies has an elite trait that the other one doesn't have, and I think that's the ever so slight difference between these two. So our number 2 is coming in as Smile 2. Smile 2 is an amazing movie. That, plain and simple. There's nothing else to say really outside of that. It's an amazing, fun movie. Parker Finn is easily becoming one of my favorite directors. I love the first Smile movie more, but that's just my personal opinion. But to have a Smile 2 come out, and as everybody who watches this channel knows, I was worried that they would go in and then this movie would be just some little cheap sequel and then just be stupid and now dang near ruins the whole franchise. And it's like, no, this movie really holds up to the first one. And, you know, I know a lot of people out there even like the second one even more than the first one. I disagree, but still, either way, the second movie is great. And you cannot talk about this movie without talking about Naomi Scott's performance as Sky Riley, the best performance of this year. Plain and simple. There's nothing else to discuss. Like, her ability to be able to project fear and trauma and just somebody who is really and truly conflicted in their head and is really trying to deal with all of that in real time. And this movie is on a grander scale with her being a pop star and, you know, having her perform in front of people and have different fans and audiences and social events and t-shirt signings, and she's coming across this little smile entity that nobody else can see but just her, and it's just staring at her menacingly. There's just so much to that, and I think that she just absolutely killed this performance. And now I know that everything has been greenlit for a Smile 3 to happen, and supposedly that's going to close out the trilogy, which I think an excellent idea. And of course, Parker Finn gets to direct this one as well. So that is going to be extremely fun to watch. I can't wait till that drops, especially for everybody who's seen Smile 2 and saw how it ended. If Parker Finn can do this right the same way he did the first 2 movies, this really might just be the best trilogy of horror movies ever. Like, in terms of just like most solid, the most high quality horror movies, yeah, I don't think anything would be able to touch this. But I just so happen to think that revitalizing a lot that we like about horror, I feel like our number 1 did that just a smidge bit better. And with that being said, our number 1 spot for this year, and this movie held on to the number 1 spot from the get-go. When I saw it earlier this year, it held on the whole year no matter what came out, and that movie is Late Night with the Devil. Just to give a quick synopsis before I dive into this movie, on October 31st, 1977, Johnny Carson rival Jack Delroy hosts the syndicated talk show Night Owls that has been a long trusted companion to insomniacs around the country. A year later, after the tragic death of Jack's wife, ratings have plummeted. Desperate to turn his fortunes around, Jack plans a Halloween special like no other. Unaware, he is about to unleash evil into the living rooms of America. I ain't even gonna lie to y'all, this might be the most creative concept for a horror movie that I've seen in a while. Like, I think the overall probably most creative is like Nightmare on Elm Street and having a dream demon and just so many aspects that you could do with that. I think that's just the most creative concept ever. But this and how everything is just so stylized and the aesthetic of everything with it being a 70s talk show, and it genuinely looks like it was shot in the 70s but just with 4K quality. So it's not as, you know, fuzzy around the edges and all that good stuff. Y'all know, looking like it was shot with a potato. Like, it doesn't look that bad, but it just gives you that same, like I said, feel and aesthetic. And So from that aspect alone, it's just a beautiful movie to look at. Then when you add in the characters of Jack Delroy and some of his supporting cast and some of the people that he brought on for performances and all that good stuff, it's just amazing. And then to add on to all the visuals, then storyline wise, Jack trying to revitalize his show, and how Jack starts reliving moments from his past, and how it was revealed that he already had a past with the demon that was possessing Lily. It was the same demon that he encountered at the Grove when he sacrificed his wife, and that was the whole reason why his wife got cancer in the first place, because, you know, she didn't smoke, she was healthy, and all that good stuff, and all of a sudden she gets cancer, and then this guy brings her on the show, and that was a key moment in his success. And so, like I said, just story-wise, imagine that, like, this dude wanted to be famous so bad and wanted his show to be successful that he was willing to sacrifice his wife. That's why throughout the end of the movie, you just see a bunch of hallucinations, and you just genuinely can't tell what is reality and what's not. So it's very mind-bending for Jack, and, you know, in Jack's head towards the end, he thinks that he's killing his wife to sort of relieve her of her cancer and her pain, and little does he know he's sitting there stabbing Lily. Like, so I mean, all those mind games, and that's a similar thing that the biggest premise and thing that Smile is based on is the mind games and how you deal with trauma, and how this trauma demon is able to really play with your mind. There's a lot of playing with the mind in Late Night with the Devil as well. Yeah, I mean, it's dang near a flawless movie. I don't know, this movie was just great, and just this year of all the collection of horror movies, it's just been so great. It's been a real treat this year, and 2025 has a lot to live up to, so it's going to be interesting to see. It is really going to be interesting to see, and likely next week we'll be coming out with a video talking about some of the upcoming horror movies for 2025. Y'all already know January going to start off with a stinker, so y'all can already expect that. But outside of that, hopefully there will be some bangers somewhere down the line. But that is all I got for y'all, Spooky Gang. Y'all drop down below what you think of the horror movies for this year, and what are your top 5 horror movies for this year. And of course, we have a huge announcement. We have to reveal the winner of the Blu-ray giveaway for this holiday season. And the winner of the horror Blu-ray is my boy X Lucky 7X. He is certainly one of the day one subs, so shout out to you, Lucky. I'll definitely be connecting with you to see what Blu-ray you want, and we'll make sure that we get that shipped out to you. And hopefully that's a movie that we'll be able to recommend to other people out there. So congratulations, y'all give Lucky a round of applause. But regardless, I appreciate everybody that participated. So, like, trust me, I'm not forgetting about people like Sano72592 or Lori8868. Like, trust me, guys, I pay attention to everything, and nothing goes unnoticed. So I appreciate every last one of you guys. You guys are the absolute best. And yeah, that is pretty much it. So until next time, Spooky Gang, y'all have a happy holidays. Y'all stay blessed. And y'all already know how we do it, baby. Y'all stay spooky.